Alrighty, welcome back. We are now in Midnight Mountain, about to take on Crystal Islands. I don't have a flame breath, I have a purple rock, if you will. And you may have a green rocket instead. Either way, you need one of them if we're going to continue with this route. Straight away, as soon as we spawn in, we want to head over to the right. Watch out for this enemy behind us. Don't get knocked off the edge and lose your projectile. This egg thief is about to break open the level for us. By killing them, we're going to get teleported to that island with the super flight power up, and we can just demolish the rooting. We get about 5 eggs in 2 minutes. It's crazy. There's also a 6th egg we might talk about. But normally we would have to glide on over, speak to the NPC in there, do the gem challenge, go through there. Could grab that egg there, but we still just go the long way around in between the tree line here. Moneybags is hiding, and 1,000 gems is the requirement to just cross that gap. So thankfully, this exists. We now have access to anywhere we want because of the super flight. Not you. This is the standard Crystal Islands route we would do from here. And of course, yes, green rocket would work for that as well. I like to cut underneath here to take a shorter route to the star. You can go the other way if you wish. Now, if you want to play it safe here, you could speak to the NPC. That way, if something goes wrong, you'll respawn here. But I like to just go straight through to the slide. The slide is a lot of fun, but it is slow. So if I fall off here and roll, I can then input a glide. If I just fell, I cannot do a glide input, and I cannot make my way to this point on the slide. There's a bit of terrain here, not just the torch, but I always aim for the torch because it's a guarantee. From here you can charge jump towards the final part of this little side area. There are a few other ways of completing the end there. If you accidentally fall off that terrain, you can just finish the slide as expected, but anything to save time at this point. Lloyd rescued. That's 3 eggs already. Back over to the island. And I'm gonna talk about moles. No, I'm gonna show moles, and let this be a warning. This minigame does have potential to be really fast, but it is quite unpredictable. I always head to this little corner because it should affect the spawns of the little moles. And then the whole way of doing it fast means they would, as you've whacked them once, you can also hit them again to increase the counter in the bottom right of the screen. You can get your double hits, triple hits, all the above. But you have to be so careful of these wizards. It's very scary. You know, the fight, if you want to call it a fight. This challenge can go so wrong so quickly. I would much rather learn something else than depend on this to go well. Especially so late in the run. But you know, it is technically an egg that you can do. Oh, out of interest, we used to have an old setup for the plane thief, which involved like gliding towards that tree, counting for a second, turning left, and you could just about flame them before they took off. But it's so much nicer knowing we can just go straight through the super flight now. We'll worry about the other egg in a moment. First, we're going to rescue Grace. And from this position, we're going to glide around the island to reach Maney. This tree hitbox is quite deceptive, so I usually go straight ahead for a moment and then turn in. And pay attention to the timing of that. Really try not to engage with any hitboxes we don't need to. And that's Crystal Islands. Usually would be 5 eggs there, not 6. But it doesn't matter. We're out of there unscathed. We didn't need to pay 1,000 gems. The rest of the run awaits us. And we're about to follow up with one of the most frustrating tricks of a run, known as torch jump. Let's see it for ourselves. I'll tell you, when I'm on a good pace and I've just completed Crystal, this trick terrifies me. So rude. Oh, I still have Purple Rock. I forgot. On PC, you can do a few setups here, of which I'm not very good at all of them. But the idea is we're going to skip to end of level using the torch. This is torch jump. PC method, as I'm trying to demonstrate, is a sort of wall glide there. But the method I prefer, which is useful on both, whereas, you know, that's PC exclusive. This hexagon, where this line extends out, where this line extends out, this little triangle I've created, I like to stand here. And I like to line up with where the pillar meets the wall. This all sounds a bit, you know, convoluted, but stay with me. From this spot, if I do a full hop into a perfect hover to the right, I can land on the right-hand hitbox of that torch, because the torch is not a full hitbox. It's one of the things that's very frustrating about the trick. I'll see if I can demonstrate it. Close. Cool. Yeah, you see how I'm really far to the right? Well, if I go to the left, I actually just fall off. So you have to aim for the right hand of the torch. That's why I like to do the hover off to the right. Like, approaching it from the right just feels better. I'll break it down one more time. So I like to stand where this like invisible triangle appears. See what I mean? Line up with that gap in the pillar. Full hop. Perfect hover. People do different things here. You watch a numerous amount of runs, you'll see different setups. On PC, you do have that little wall glide as well, which pretty much maintains your height for you. But because I spent a long time on console for a while there, I had to learn something else, and that was the setup that worked for me. Torch jump lost me a significant amount of time during my last world record attempt, so, you know, it's not... You may get it a few times in practice and think you've conquered it. Doing it in a run is a different beast, so never underestimate this trick. The alternative is terrible. Going through Haunted Tomb normally, from the start, is so slow. You have to open all the doors with buttons, you have to deal with certain enemies who are going to make your life hard, and you know, some of the mummies, for example, can only be killed with the rocks that they throw. So yeah, torch jump is a huge time save compared to doing the level intentionally. So I highly recommend finding a setup that works, getting consistent, and, you know, practicing some breathing exercises, because it's nerve-wracking when you're on a pace. Trust me. You need an egg. They will give us an egg. Riddles can lose you time on PC because menus... Oh, go on, mate. Yeah. Because menus continue to tick the loadless timer. So try to select the right answers when you can. We're going to tanks here. Tanks 2 is a great option on PC, and I'll show you why. First of all, in Tanks 1, all the tanks are pretty much the same. I don't get too close to them because then they start throwing lob shots over the top of the little flames here. I'd rather they sort of come out of hiding because that means I can go for these straight line shots. They just travel a bit faster. You can see this last guy's a little close to hiding from me, but it worked out. This is pretty much the only part of the run where I would use keyboard and mouse. So I'm going to show you what that might look like. Yes, it does look a bit awkward because I'm like, whoa, left and right, left and right. But the whole point is I can turn my aim a lot easier. I'm going to try and strafe opposite to the way that I'm shooting. You see how in the background I was able to take that guy out without getting near him? I'm going to try and do the same with these ones as well. Just watching the back. Yep, able to grab that too. I'll do a lob shot here, just in case, I guess. That was a terrible idea. This last one I can try and do the same, but because I'm so close to them by now, it would be a bit of a waste. You can do the same with a controller, but because the turns are a bit slow, it can feel a bit sluggish. And, you know, when PC gives you the option to do so, why not? Having done tanks too, we're going to go to the top of the slide here. But we have no interest in doing slides because, well, we can just go around. If you, however, do fall onto the slide for some reason, make sure to collide with this wall on the way down. Otherwise, you might get too much momentum and fall off. But you can just land all the way down here. Lastly, off to the left. One more egg to grab. I like to aggro that enemy early. You can skip around the dog, but getting knocked off here feels really stupid, so we'll rescue Christine, and we finished Haunted 2. Haunted 2 often feels like the last big hurdle, but it's definitely not good to underestimate what's left in the run. Dino Mines has one particular jump that can pose a lot of problems. Oh yeah, I did it without really thinking, but you can actually do head bashes quicker than what you would normally be doing. This is a normal head bash. This is a fast head bash. Does it really matter? No. But it's one of those things that if you practice it, it becomes second nature. Over the course of a run, you might save a couple seconds because of it. Dino Mines, we have an egg immediately at the start. That's Dan. You would expect us to have to go back around and meet up around where that bridge is, or we can just do a wall glide here. There are a couple of setups, I'm going to demonstrate both. The one I prefer is this one, where I go parallel to the wall. Oh, also, this one is PC exclusive. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to do a charge jump, then I'm going to turn once I get past the corner. It's a very different type of wall glide. So, yeah, do not be afraid to mess it up a bunch in practice. It will get better. So crucially, once I got past the corner, I was able to use all of this terrain to keep my height. It's technically possible to get back from here. Almost. I just wanted to go ahead and demonstrate the second part of this, because that's the PC exclusive setup. This is one that can be done on both. It is still relatively awkward on console because we don't have as much of a wall gliding opportunity as on PC. Here we're going to charge out, and again we're going to turn after the corner, because if otherwise you just hit the corner, die, respawn, it sucks. There we are. This does have a little bit of a hitbox to it, but it's, you know, temperamental, so I want to gain as much height as possible doing this trick. Hooray! First try. Anyway, we continue. Taking out the large enemies. At this point in the run, gems are everywhere, so we really don't need to try and collect gems. We only needed 300 in order to access the Molten Thieves, which we'll go back to shortly. These enemies are quite hard to deal with, so just try not to engage with them at all. For this bit, camera matters a lot. This dino will only shoot us if we're looking at him. And the enemy on this side of the wall is proximity based. It's quite easy to get stun locked by them here, so what I like to do is approach a bit to the right in order to get that enemy to start attacking, and then I turn away from the one on the left so he doesn't shoot. No, even if he does shoot, because I'm moving around to the right, I don't get hit. Oh, also the enemy on that bridge there, I always elect to jump over their attack and kill them, because if I try and go around the side of them, there's a very good chance I get hit. If you get hit once, you're probably going to get hit twice. So it's not usually worth the risk. Now usually I would leave the level here. Ouch. There is one more optional egg. So as you're making your way up the stairs here, you could go up this ladder. For console, this is mandatory. Something I may not have mentioned yet. These tunnels, including the one in Seashell, IGT pauses. I don't know why, but it does. Actually, I do know why. It's because you can't open the guidebook. But anyway, that means the entire time spent going through the tunnel doesn't add to your final IGT. For PC, it does take the time that you're seeing in front of us, but this is a relatively easy egg. It's not too time consuming. It's very punishing because you would have to do the entire tunnel again. But compared to something like Subs 2, it doesn't take a whole lot to learn it. I guess that's the difference maker with a run like this. The amount of practice required for some of the eggs is higher than others. So if you would like a good time fast, then yeah, no reason to prioritize Subs 2 over Dino Tunnel. But the fastest Subs 2 is still faster than Dino Tunnel. Well, we only have a couple more levels left that we haven't entered. But there's a little bit of backtracking involved as well. We're going to make our way up to here, grab Eevee. We'll be back on this side to, reach the Sorceress, but prior to that, need a few more eggs. I do not want to chase this egg thief. Similar to how we did Bamboo Thief, I'm going to glide and aggro them, cut them off. So I charge at them and I turn around to the left. You can hover at the end if you're a bit uncertain if you've made it. Now we have Desert Ruins. I really like Desert Ruins. The Sheila section's a bit long, but I just love the theme and everything about it really. And the music's great. I try and dodge that flame hitbox at the last second. Glide around this flame hitbox. You can get zapped by Zoe here as a safety precaution, because this next bit can go wrong. I'm going to opt to take a hit of damage, which allows me to get up here earlier than anticipated. You can also do like a perfect hover up, but yeah, usually the game expects you to go all the way around and glide over. Because we're up here early, we can even make an unintended jump, well, glide over to here. That gives us Andy. Now we can make another glide back down to reach the Sheila section. I've been speaking for too long, obviously. How you do this section will vary on how comfortable you are with Sheila's controls. But in short, I try to stay on the ground for most of the time. And if I can jump over obstacles, it's usually faster. These falling platforms are a bit scary, so don't spend too much time on them. here. I like to just take damage. Grab Lester. Do some kick jumps to get through this section. Yeah, if you don't give Sheila a little bit of standing time on the ground, she'll pretty much automatically do a double jump next time you let go of that key, so it's not ideal to just be spamming the jump button. Pete is rescued. There's one more egg to collect over here. And there's Nelly. Now we're going to guidebook all the way back to Molten Crater. We have far too many gems. We don't know what to do with them. At this point, paying money bags is just charity work, really. Make our way over to this side. Yes, no worries. Speak to our man Stoney here. I'll tell you now, this Yellow Thief can be quite annoying because we have no supercharge. It's a very drawn out chase. I always approach the same way. I want to minimize the distance between me and him as fast as possible. If I like turn to the right, I'll show you what I don't want to do. I don't want to do this. He's already started running. I haven't even faced him yet. Now I want to approach as directly as possible. Whereabouts is he? Oh, he's already around there, is he? That's not fair. I was hoping to demonstrate that. Anyway. But now, if I take, like, the most optimal line through here, I can even catch him here. Oftentimes I see people have to go all the way around to the end there. But you can save a few seconds if you catch him early. But you only catch him early if you take those really tight lines. So once again, I'm going to try and take a direct line to this guy. They go out of range immediately, but then we're chasing after, and I'll tell you now, this bit catches everyone out. Because they're moving very fast, and they're going to jump around this point. If you take the route that I'm planning, which is jumping from there to here, and they jump at the same time, you'll probably miss them and have to do another lap. Now, it's not foolproof, but certainly the way I like to do it is, again, I like to take really tight lines. It usually means that I can cut them off just before. It's still a pretty tough timing, but the only reason you would meet them after is because you were a bit slow reaching this point. So, okay, we'll take the direct lines. Stick to the inside. Jump here and then turn and jump. And there's Kermit. Definitely one of the more awkward eggs, but it's not too difficult. It just takes a little bit of practice. Now, this is a very fast one. Since we're right by the entrance. Trouble is, this was obviously kept from us as we were still without a penguin with rocket launchers. Now we go to Desert Ruins. There's still the end of level egg to grab, in case you didn't realize. Perfect hover does get us up here. There's a couple other ways to go about it as well. If I can remember how. You can also, on PC, you can go into this corner. But you have to hover to the left, yep. I remember seeing Inset Logic doing that one. And you can also go parallel to the wall here and wall glide up. Well, it's not really a wall glide up. It's like the Icy Peak one where you wall glide to keep your height and then you hover at the end. Now we run to this opening. And suddenly there's an NPC here. And we grab Marty. And we're done. There's only one more egg we would usually have. So here we're going to charge on through. Rescue Billy. The post-egg movement here is just down and left. Don't jump into this. If you jump into this, you might just fall. It's quite weird how the whirlwind operates. I advise grabbing at least one of these lizards if you're not full health, because now we're going into the Sorceress, and if you're not full health, you get brought to green sparks. Then Agent 9 is just going to spend time shooting fodder down for us. Oh, Agent 9? Yeah, Agent 9 is in this game, but we don't actually pay for him. We don't play as him. You'll have to play another category to experience the joys of a third-person shooter. Whoa! Here we are, final level of the game. Pretty much all vehicle control. We just want to stay away from her. If we get too close, she'll potentially chase after us. That can be hard to predict. Not much to say. I'm not actually adjusting the turret trajectory at all. You can pretty much reach the entire stage with its default position. Though you can go out to this outer rim, I find you're usually all good to just stand on this bit here. She'll vary her attacks between the blue electric attacks and the yellow fireball. Yellow fireball tends to be like the fastest attack that she can do. But what's important is you respect the damage you can take. We can speed this phase up by turning around and shooting her like that. But with any sort of vehicle, the Sorceress can knock us off, so you know we need to respect her as well. On the turrets, for example, if she runs at you, she's going to knock you off the turret. And for the little tank, it's good to wait for her to do her wind-up animation before we start the fast shots. Now for UFO, even before I get on that, I just want to say I use the D-pad. The reason is the up and down movement of the UFO is very finicky and not helpful for what we're trying to do here. So I just go left and right. I can correct myself if I get it wrong slightly, but I just want to stay at her level really. The strategy you usually incorporate goes to the edge of the level and like circles round. Unfortunately, I screwed that up. I'll get it with this one. Of course, she can still throw fireballs at us. So typically it goes a bit like this. Once I leave the premises, she has to run back to the middle. I missed that shot, which was unfortunate. And that's time. On that final hit, the run is over. We rescue George and skip through all our cutscenes. On PC, the loadless timer is already showing your final time. For console, you have to go right through to after this screen, and you'll bring up the guidebook. Fastest way to do that is to press the, I think on my controller it's the share button, but it might vary for each person. Yeah, I gotta say, a 2-hour free any run is not amazing, but you know, we did a lot of stuff, eh? Yeah, the Sorceress fight, I might have almost downplayed it a bit. Yes, I made a couple mistakes, but what I mean to say is the vehicle controls take a little bit of time. Shooting the UFO is a bit awkward because it shoots on like either side of Spyro. It just takes practice. So, we've done it. No, sorry, we haven't finished the run yet. Yes, the timer's finished, but there is still one thing left to do.
Don't worry, Spyro. I won't be needing any more of your money. Now, don't look so surprised. I found one of the dragon eggs, and I'm going to sell it for a fortune back at Evelar. Uh-oh. Why are you looking at me like that? I've got to be going now. Toodles!
Yeah, toodles, you're dead. It's gratuitous, but very satisfying.
Drat! Double drat! Drat, 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 drat! I never knew dragons were so fast! That's it! I give up! I'm retiring to Spooky Swamp to become a haiku poet.
And Moneybags was lost forever in Crystal Islands. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a few things. Ask as many questions as you'd like. We've got the comment section. You can DM me on Discord. There's the Spyro servers, the speedrunning server, and also the HD speedrunning server. I hope to see more free any runs in the future because the category is a lot of fun. The game can be infuriating. All speedrun games can be, right? But I've been playing it for years and I still get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So give it a try, and I'm always around to assist. Yeah. What an outro. Alright. Enjoy the rest of your days, nights, whatever it may be. I'll see you in the future. Take care.